would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. Oh, baby, how goodbye. Well, I need nobody now.
Country, they're coming together. You realize that you're not the only people in your city who are doing the things you are, but they're everywhere.
People that were there felt very, very strong about being there, and they felt like this is a special moment. Everybody got it then. It wasn't like later on that they had to realize that this was tremendous. This was a city in itself. We own this city. We are the people.
We played really awful at Woodstock. I mean, if we were bad at Monterey Pop Festival, we were colossally horrible at Woodstock. Everybody else loved it. Everybody had a great time. We played terrible. We were only too glad to get out of there. We had a great time hanging out, but playing was a disaster.
As the 60s came to a close, the Rolling Stones wound up the last major tour of the decade.
I read in one of the papers that you'll be giving a free concert in San Francisco.
We are doing a free concert in San Francisco.
When?
On December 6th. And the location is not Golden Gate Park, unfortunately, but it's somewhere adjacent to it, which is a bit larger.
Let me repeat, the Rolling Stones free concert is going to be on tomorrow at the Altamont Speedway.
Altamont's another one where we were supposed to play, but we never did. When you advertise the Rolling Stones, no matter where they are, the Rolling Stones means a crowd. We were the ones who knew the Hells Angels of those about as well as anybody did. And there were the Hells Angels who were our friends, and the Hells Angels who weren't friendly at all. I ended up acting as a kind of a security man. We were in that space of having Hells Angels on both sides of us. It was so completely out of control and completely out of hand, and it had turned into a major media event. I mean, it was one of those kind of no-win situations.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm the man of well and tears. Been around for a long, long year. So many a man's soul to bed. I was round with Jesus Christ at his moment of doubt.
when you're on stage, you are responsible in some way, whether you like it or not, for the mood you create. But unfortunately, you can't be responsible for all the people sitting at the back. How can you be?
As the 60s faded into the 70s, rock and roll seemed to lose something. Maybe it was a sense of unity or adventure, the money. Or maybe the music lost its innocence as the drugs kicked in. First there was Altamont. And then within a space of 10 months, the tragic loss of 3 of rock and roll's most distinctive voices: Morrison, Hendrix, and Janis.
Sit there, count your fingers. I know what else can you do?
I think they were spinning the roulette wheel with drugs, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose it big time. We were too young, too wealthy, and too happy to be suicidal.
Time to hesitate is through, no time to wallow in the mire. Try now, we can only lose, and our love become a funeral pyre. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Light us in the night out. Oh, yeah. Know that it will be untrue. Know that I would be a liar if I were to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on 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 fire.
It's the essence of it, is that attitude that I don't care, I'm living, you know, I'm doing it. It's life itself. The person and his instrument or her instrument or whatever, just that magical moment when everything is perfect and nothing matters and you've elevated yourself far above anything that you could ever think about or care about. You're in another world. And sometimes you just can't get back from there. And that's what happened to a lot of people. I loved Hendrix, and the way he plays the guitar, nobody else can play guitar. Nobody else ever will play electric guitar like that. He plays like it's a woman, you know. You can see all the curves, and there's electricity flying off everywhere. It's totally out of control. He's playing it like he's living there.
Something that gets me going or turns me on is the energy in rock and roll. Guitar, strumming, pounding, pushing.
You're my love. Oh, want a whole lot of love. 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 Want a whole lot of love.
When the guys started putting on makeup, it wasn't that much of a shift from the long hair and beads and purses and stuff that guys had been wearing in the 60s.
It was all effeminate. And that was one of the great criticisms. But I mean, show business is effeminate in a way because show business crosses lines of gender.
I would look back at the creatures in denim and long hair and sort of just stand it, and they look more androgynous than anything else I'd seen. They looked like they'd run a mile if they saw someone of the opposite sex. But I think what a lot of the glam rock bands did, in fact, was do exactly the reverse. They brought sex back into rock and roll in a big way.
The glitter glam movement, which emerged from England in the early 70s, challenged the boundaries of taste, fashion, and personal expression.
I like people who are AC/DC. You know what I mean?
You may call it nothing but a breakdown in gender, that same androgynous phenomenon of the pop scene that produces boys with long hair and ruffled shirts. And you may be right, but back to the music.
The television man is crazy, Sam with juvenile delinquent Rex. Oh man, I need TV when I got T-Rex.
This guy in T-Rex